So let's see where they want to go. Julio taking a good time to shuffle up here. It's also a good time to mention that Nerd Rage Gaming is hosting SCG Regionals. So if you head over to our Facebook, make sure to like us on there. We put up a post where you can go online and pre-register for SCG Regionals on February 7th. And I suggest you pre-register, because if you do, and you are one of the first 200 people to pre-register, you get an awesome SCG Squirrel playmat featuring all of the Squirrel people. You get Force Squirrel, you get Squirrel Confidant, you get Squirrel Brainstorm, you even get Squirrel Stoneforge Mystic, all on one mat. Not to mention some sweet token swag. So heading over that way, getting yourself ready for regionals, watch some FNM videos, watch what these guys are playing, see what you want to play. I would have to think that Julio has Anger the Gods in the sideboard. I'd have to think he does. He might not, though. I'm really concerned just not seeing another mountain. That kind of blew my mind. It was definitely odd. So, start of game 2 here. The player's going to look at their hands. Julio's got temples now. He wants it. Check the top. Do I want that? I'm going to put it on the bottom. Let's hope he sees some of his sideboard cards here. Barry kept as well. Playing a tap land, passing the turn. We're not going to see a lot of those tokens that quick. Julio off to what seems to be a slower start too. There's an Necron Crusader. Has not chosen the second land, but it'll come out in the form of a Battlefield Forge. I mean, it's just a real concern when you don't see the lands that you need to cast 2 of the cards in your hand. Julio, Temple Forest, has an Ilea in his hand, has a Genesis Hydra. Chooses not to cast anything. On Barry's side, we see a Dragon Mantle, 2 Jeskai Ascendancies. So we'll go 1 Dragon Mantle on my guy. I'll draw a card. I'm going to make a Soldier token. And these were the ones that overran Julio last game. I mean, just took him by storm. We'll draw a card. I'm going to get some free damage in here, hopefully. Barry's thinking it over. What do you got? Second land. Seems good. Here we go. Beat for 2. Do I want to pump? Pump once. Beat for 3. 17-19. Barry's pinging himself with the damage. Here's the Courser. Good blocker. Flip it. I'll play this. I'll gain a life. Looks like a Pelucranos on top for Julio. Sits a Nissa in his hand. 2 fetches. Possibly a Storm Breath. Barry now drawing a Frolicker again? Going to go into Jeskai Ascendancy, I have to believe here. Paying himself for 2. Drops to 17. There's the Ascendancy. So this is really what he was trying to set up game 1, but just didn't even need the Ascendancy. Has a God's Willing in hand? Is that what we're looking at? Wants to maybe attempt to get past the Courser just to provide a little bit bigger board. Has what also appears to be a Frolicker and the other Ascendancy that we know about. Gonna pass the turn. Doesn't want to go off just yet. Julio draws the Pelucranos, flips an Elvish Mystic, is gonna fetch. So Julio will lose 1, gain 1. Net of nothing. $18-17. They're using the dice. Thank you, players. Makes it easier on us. Julio getting shuffled up here. I'm going to flip. It's another Poly K. Julio says, let me jam a Nissa. I'm going to untap 4 for us. I'm going to jam a Poly. Boom. There he is. So Julio just definitely seems a little light on the red mana. I'm not 100% sure I'm really good with that. Just seeing the amount of cards, the high impact red cards he has in his hand, and the fact that we've only seen one temple, it's just really strange. We haven't even seen a basic mountain at this point. Barry's setting it up here. Wants to find a way he can go off. Gotta get past a Courser, get past a Polyk. Dragon Mantle. Make a guy, draw a card, Ascendancy trigger. Let's see what happens. Julio marking the +1/+1 for Barry, I assume. Barry says, alright, let me draw my card. Ascendancy trigger, I got a discard. What do I want? Is it the Frolicker that's going to get discarded? He's thinking. Yes, it is. So no Frolicker this time. Draws the card off of Dragon Mantle. Looked to be a land, though. I'm okay, I think, on playing the Pelucranos. I'm okay on. I would have considered possibly getting a mountain, or maybe at least looking into it, though the Pelucranos is obviously very good in this matchup. I just don't know how well it does for him when he doesn't have access to, I think, the enchantment removal he needs, or even the double red he needs if he is running Anger of the Gods. So we are going to God's Willing. We'll have another Ascendancy trigger, a Scry trigger, and a Soldier trigger. So we'll resolve the Scry. You're going to make a token here. What else do we get to do? There's our Soldier. Let's get some Ascendancy stuff going. We've got dice coming out. And they're trying to keep track of the +1/+1. Barry is trying to just, I assume, end it right here. Though Julio is at a strong life total of 18. It'll be hard to get through. The Pro Green definitely does very well for it. So he's going to slip that under there as a reminder. Barry says, I think I'm okay. What do I want to swing in for? Nope. We're going to Retraction Helix. Alright. So, burn myself for 1. Although it looks like he's burned himself for 2 so far. Probably off the Battlefield Forge tab. Gonna get a Retraction Helix. Wants to bounce something. Gonna get an Ascendancy trigger. Gonna make a token. So he has not used the tap yet. So we have an Ascendancy trigger, we have the Soldier trigger, and we have the draw card